Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Wild Chats, your home for everything animals. I am Ryan. That's Maria. And today, Maria, we're gonna do a little bit of parenting.
Ooh,
Well,
okay.
we're not gonna do the parenting. We're gonna watch
Okay.
how some others do some parenting. And the beauty is, I know that in your past on some one of the other channels you were doing, you had done a video on animal parents. So
Yes.
basically, I'm just going to take this episode off. You go for it. Um,
Okay. Welcome to being born.
um, so, in your research, and again, that was a long time ago, so I don't expect you to remember everything, or just from your personal experience, who do you think some of the best parents are in the animal kingdom?
Usually, so I'm gonna group them a little bit, and then I'll give you the final answer.
Okay.
But if you think of mammals, they tend to be very good parents.
Okay.
Now, when you talk about seals, for example, certain species of seals are more protective than others. Like there are some seals that are literally they feed their baby and then they leave. That's it
Okay.
until the baby. But there are others that actually train their baby like I'm here, I am not. I am here, then I'm not for a longer time, and that's how they train their
Okay.
cub. But the one that impresses me the most, just because it's so creepy, it's crocodiles.
Okay. Okay.
Because you will think that as such a cold-blooded animal and with such bad stigma will be more easily dismissive of their young, like
Okay.
turtles would. Like you will almost pair a turtle with an alligator, a crocodile, and they're completely different.
I've seen that
Completely
video.
different.
It doesn't go well when you pair a crocodile and a turtle. It doesn't go well. But go ahead. Okay, so why would you pick crocodiles though?
Just because of the stigma they have.
Oh, okay.
So
So
to
they're
me,
still against type that you're like they're actually really good parents, and what makes them impressive is nobody thinks they're good parents. No one expects them to be good parents. Okay.
and they
Okay.
hide them in their mouth and they let them jump on their backs, and to me it's just so beautiful to be shatter of the stigmas. So the stigma shattering to me is so fun.
Okay. Okay. Um, if you guys recall, a couple episodes ago, we had done we did a video on crocodiles and birds. There was actually a clip in that I didn't get to use, and since Maria picked crocodile, which she didn't do on purpose, now I get to use it.
No wonder your eyes lit up when I was talking about crocodile. You're like, where is she going with this? Like you can just see it on your face. Where is she going with this long explanation of critters and then all of a sudden end up a crocodile?
I hadn't quite figured out where I was going to use it. Then you walked me right into it. So basically, it's interesting because crocodiles they have to leave their young in order to go hunt. They can't bring them with them, or they have to leave their nests in order to go hunt and get food for themselves to be able to come back. So just like any animal that fits that category, your eggs are then subject to any other animal that might come along, which is why a lot of reptiles lay a lot of eggs to kind of make up for the difference. Um, but there is a the Nile crocodile. There's a bird called the what is it? The Dikkop. The Dikkop bird, and basically crocodiles intentionally lay their eggs near Dikkop bird nests because lizards will eat the crocodile eggs. But while the Dikkop birds they parent in twos, so while they're protecting their eggs, they actually will protect the crocodile
Inadvertently.
also. So essentially, the crocodile has
Seeps
a baby.
agrees.
What's that?
Seeps agrees.
So basically, the crocodile has a built-in babysitter if they lay their eggs near these Dikkop bird nests.
How cool is that?
Uh-huh. And then basically the birds protect the nest. And then if they get a little outclassed by the lizard, they have a call that they use to call the crocodile, like, hey, you need to get back to your eggs. So this was a very interesting clip. So you get the crocodile who is nesting, and then it goes off to hunt, and then you get these lizards that
Look how
basically,
big that lizard is.
they're not tiny, which is what makes the
No.
birds even more impressive, because the birds aren't very big either. But basically, in having the built-in babysitter, as it starts to dig for the egg, yep, exactly. And then that's the call to call the croc back to let him know that a lizard's near its nest.
I wonder what the birds get out of it too, because there's usually a reason why there is an interaction. And again, it's been a very interesting theme lately to have the symbiotic, like talk about symbiotic relationships. And
Mm-hmm.
I will really enjoy, and if any of you know, any of you who may be behavior biologist or anything like that, why would the two of them work together? And it could be because of the protection in numbers. So
I think I agree.
better in numbers.
Well, because the lizard's so much bigger than the bird, also, I think in forming that partnership, when the crocodile isn't hunting, the lizard's not coming anywhere near that territory. So
Exactly.
birds don't even have to worry about defending when the crocodile's around, and then when it is, so there's this kind of unspoken, all right, when you're away, we'll help protect your eggs, because when you're here, we don't have to do anything, because that lizard isn't coming out of his burrow to come hunting for eggs, ours or yours, if you're
That
here.
is that is to me so fascinating how
Mhm.
two completely unique species can benefit from one another. And I love that because I know it is in their DNA, it is in their programming of survival, because they want to become immortal. And the way you become immortal is by having, children and having descendants. So but to me it's just so amazing how this also is part of that evolution and that part of adaptation to the environment.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
who was the first? I would love to know, like, oh, this started happening in whatever age, or 100 years ago, 10 years ago. Like, it'll be fun to see if it had something to do with the area, or if it's something that normally happens.
Yeah, I don't. Unfortunately, the limited information I have is basically what came from the video, and I just know it's the Dikkop birds and the Nile crocodile. So if you want to look it up and get more information on the interaction, but it is very
Oh, that's
rare. That's
pretty cool.
why it was brought up, because crocs usually eat birds. So to employ a bird to protect its nest, yeah, it was pretty interesting.
But I
Um,
also love, if you don't mind me getting a little bit off the subject when it comes
Go
to
ahead.
actually in the subject, but spiders have pets like
Okay.
little frogs, because the frogs will not necessarily eat the spider eggs, but it will eat the critters that want to hunt the spider eggs. So they
Hmm.
usually have a big tarantula looking spider with a tiny, tiny little green frog, and they have another relationship to protect their descendants.
Hmm.
And also gopher turtles allow for other critters to come in, because again they protect each other in a way to allow for, and again, genetic growth down the
Yeah.
line.
Even different species. I mean, it's nature to kind of protect your tribe. I mean, human beings took dogs as pets because having a wolf around the campfire when you're sleeping with the better hearing and the better eyesight at night allowed you that extra sense of security and defense to protect you and your family. So it's not unheard of for different species to take care of one another if it's in their best interests.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it because whether it is for your own personal gain, it doesn't matter because they all gain. So it's a
Yeah.
super win-win situation. So yeah, you could say, well, animals do it because it's selfish. It's really per- perceived as selfish, but it's not, because if I'm helping you, you're helping me, then it is a good work. It's a good business.
Yeah, it just depends. I think, as with most things in life, it's your perception. You can look at any one situation, and if you want to take it for one side, you can easily explain it this way, and the other side, you can explain it that way. And just like the old saying, like there's three sides to every story. You know, his, hers, and the truth. I mean, everybody's got their own angle on stuff.
I
So
was gonna say three sides to a coin.
no, there's only two sides. Is
Well,
just two. It's the edge.
yeah, that
Yeah.
adds volume.
Good luck trying to flip it and land it on that side.
Hey, you can spin
You
it.
could, or you could get a dreidel, or there's a lot of other things that are much easier to spin. But hey, whatever works for you.
So Ryan, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Who do you think is the best parent? Like I came with it because of stigmas that are broken, but who would you consider? And again, we're not 100% like knowledgeable on every critter. This is based on what we know, which is very limited. But again, go for it.
Okay, so when I thought of asking you this question, again, I always like to break things down. I like to put myself in other people's shoes, and then I like to break things down. And I went, okay, well, if we're going to define best parent, I mean, you almost have to even look at humans. What really is you got to look at what's the best parenting style. Because I can argue that the parent that leaves the kid alone to fend for himself and learn how to survive and take their knocks is the better parent by just not doing anything. I don't personally believe that, but I think you can make an argument for kind of get it done and hopefully it works out for you. See you later, kid. In the animal
You're
kingdom,
6 months old. Bye.
sea turtles, they come, they lay their eggs, and then they're like, hey, good luck. Maybe I'll see you when you come back to the beach, since we all come back to the beach that we were born on. I might see you in passing and wave a flipper at you. But that's the extent of the parenting of a sea turtle. And then you get animals that are just very, I mean, you hear so many times of animals that'll care for other animals. Like if a duck, there's a video that we'll see later in another video, but basically somebody had rescued ducks and they released these ducks onto the pond, like baby ducklings, and a duck within 5 seconds swam over to this group of ducklings and basically let them off and was like, I'm your new parent. Here you go. I mean, it was instantaneous.
Dogs are known for doing stuff like that. Like they want to have a boatload of children. I don't understand why, but I think it's adorable.
I mean, usually when animals have a lot of children, it's just because within that species they get picked off. Like it's through evolution, you have more children, the more they're going to die off. Crocodiles
Yeah.
lay a lot of eggs because a lot of them get eaten by lizards. So it's a numbers game at a certain point.
It really is. I mean, it is a scientific, I remember they call it the K value. It's the only thing I remember from taking a biology degree. And it has to do with that.
Student loan.
I'm still paying. But another story. But it is true. There is things that produce animals and plants that produce a lot. They tend to be less responsive to the growth of their youngsters than animals that have to invest a lot of time caring for them. Like a rhinoceros, yes, it may be able to, like a white rhinoceros, they may be able to walk within a few minutes, but they still take a long time to be weaned.
Yeah,
That's why they only have one.
some animals come out ready to roll, and other animals, even though they're born, they can't. I mean, look at a human baby. At what age, if it really, really had to, I mean, we can go Jungle Book style and like children raised by wild animals story you hear all over the place. And I know that's another video that you had
Industrial
done.
Revolution time also, because they were working at the age of 4.
Yeah, but like at what age do you think a human baby, if it had to in the wild, could actually survive? Like 7 maybe? Like there's over 5 years where a human baby has to be cared for, it will not survive.
Exactly.
And there are a lot of animals that are like that, and they're such a disadvantage because then the parents are caught doing that opposed to other things they need to do. So I know I kind of danced my way around the question, but part of the reason I did it is I really want in the comments for you guys to tell us, what do you think makes the best parent for the animal world? Someone that's very
Yes,
involved,
of course, this is animal world.
somebody that just drops their kids off and takes off, somebody that, like, I think it's a big disadvantage for the animals that they're born and then they still have to be cared for several years.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of being a good parent, but it's kind of a requirement because if you don't take care of them, they won't survive.
Yeah, because again, if you want your genetics to, if you want to be immortal, you have to protect that one critter that is causing you to become immortal, basically.
And I think that's why I kind of lean more towards maybe like orcas and whales, because their children are born and they're ready to go for the most part. They need to learn how to hunt and they're teaching them skills, but they don't technically have to be there past the weaning period of milk and stuff like that. Then it's just parenting because they want to parent. They want to make sure that they have the skills that they need in the world.
Hmm.
And I think that's to me what makes a good parent in general is you're teaching skills and necessities for them to survive. Uh,
Hmm.
so I don't give like elephants and some animals credit as much because it's like, well, you took care of them for the first 5 years because if you didn't, they'd die. So it's a biological imperative that you do it.
Yeah,
Um,
but it's also nice when talking about elephants. They also have such an amazing community, and this family structure is so great because the young females will take care of the elephants, of the babies. Like they have like nurseries so
yeah,
that the mothers can go and eat and feed and be okay, which also helps them when they have their own babies to be able to do that. So it is a very reciprocal, and I just love how an animal will come up to developing that, which is above and beyond what's expected of them, because other species
yeah,
are like, yeah, I have to raise this child alone. And like when you
yeah.
think of whales, they're on their own. But then when you think of orcas, which is not a whale, it's a cetacean, it's from the dolphin family, how they're structured. And that's what makes orcas the most dangerous animal in the ocean.
And you see that too. I mean, you hear stories of orca pods or whale pods like adopting other animals that were discarded and stuff like that. I mean, I can't think of the exact story, but there was a mutated whale of some sort that I think it was a beluga that ended up getting adopted by like blue whales or something like that because there was something wrong with the beluga whale with its fin or something like that. But the blue whale pod just adopted it and it became part of that group. But you're right. I mean, lion prides do that. Monkeys do that, where you get that communal family raising. But again, that's kind of human style. That's everybody looks out for everybody's kids because we need population to survive. If there's only
It
10 of us,
takes a
we're not gonna make.
village.
Yep, it takes a village, but it takes one, and it's also necessary all at the same time. So
Yeah, but I want to go a little further with that, if you don't mind.
okay,
Monkeys, in particular, are extremely amazing animals. Not only are they smart, they're agile, all that stuff, but they also go above and beyond having pets. Like it is incredible that they will adopt a dog. Now, there are two ways to look at it. It's like, oh, look how cute, they adopted a puppy so they have someone to play with, which they
mhm,
do. And they
yeah,
actually feed the dog as part of the family.
yeah,
But the reason behind it is the dog, just like we humans did with wolves, is there to help us for protection.
yeah. I mean, they're just copying us. We've already told that story. Monkey adopts canine for protection. We did this one already. But no, you're right. It's pretty cool too to see that evolution because I mean, there's just a direct example of like, well, we're not sure the evolution, this, that, and this story. It's like, no, monkeys adopt dogs for protection. It's a pretty easy leap to say that Cro-Magnon or some of our ancient ancestors adopted wolves for that. Yeah, and you go back in the fossil record, that's one of there's certain things in history or the fossil record that keep getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. And that's one of them is humans adopted wolves for protection and pets. I mean, I read an article once a year where it was like, oh, we thought it was now, but it was much earlier than we thought it was. Oh, wait, it was much earlier than that. It's no wonder that humans and dogs connect because there's something in that connection that's just been around since, I don't know how long after we were walking on two legs, but it seems like I feel like 20 years from now, if somebody said like Australopithecus had like a pet wolf, I would be like, I believe it.
Yeah.
Not that there were any wolves in Africa. I mean, you had to move to a region, but if it was shortly thereafter, whenever Australopithecus or Cro-Magnon or whatever Neanderthals moved into a region with wolves, and that pairing became a partnership almost immediately in terms of history. We could be talking
Of
about,
course.
500,000 a year, whatever it is. But that
Hmm.
would not shock me at all. And that is one of those things that keeps getting pushed back. And to your point, yeah, it's that even monkeys are adopting dogs for protection and feeding them.
And even speaking of, because the Homo sapiens, we're not the only human. I mean, there was an era during the Ice Age where we were with the Neanderthals, with the Homo erectus, and
Mhm,
different species of humans.
mhm.
And it's just so fascinating because it makes you wonder who developed faster and better. And I will have to say the Homo sapiens was stronger and larger, therefore probably adopted dogs faster, and that's why they succeeded in basically eradicating the other humans that existed in that
Possibly.
time. And it will be just interesting to be able to understand all that. And as science evolves and more discoveries occur, we will be able to see all that and get a real grip of
Mhm.
how the Homo sapiens became the dominant of all the humans, that
Yeah,
existed.
a lot of it was climate too, though, because Neanderthal was built more for winter and cold weather. So as the planet changed and the climate changed, who used to be, if you're
And
coming out of,
war.
and that's the thing, a lot of the species came out of Africa and just spread in waves. So
Mhm.
Neanderthal adapted to that cold weather, but then the other ones that stayed in Africa didn't evolve that way. So when they started moving into Europe, all of a sudden they were better adapted because it wasn't cold anymore. Now the Neanderthals weren't adapted in a way. So I know that was a big part of it too.
Mhm.
But today, now that we're we're 22 minutes in, Mark, and I only showed the one clip that I didn't even mean to show, which is awesome.
But it just spurs such a nice conversation,
Yeah,
though.
no, I love these. These are the episodes I like. If we can talk and be on topic and have some fun and see some videos. I also love that now what are we? We're at like video 25 or something now.
26.
26. That we've got a rhythm where kind of wherever the show goes, we still get to have fun with it. But I wanted to start with, well, I don't need this one as a lead in anymore. I'm going to show it anyway because I have
Do
it.
it. Let's do
So
it.
there's going to be this thing that I said where you get parents and you got to take the kids for a walk and
Look how cute they are.
Mhm. but some parents are strict, some parents are loose. These guys aren't even allowed to cross the street without mom, and I remember being a kid where I wasn't allowed to cross the street without holding mom's hand. So there's a parallel. But then the fun part
That
is,
is adorable.
here's the adorable part when they get away from the city. Because sometimes moms, if you were a parent, would you be a strict parent? Are you one of those parents where you're like, well, I hope they don't break a bone, but I got to let them do what they want to do so I'm not so controlling? Or are you
Well,
like,
my experience as an aunt, you're asking me?
yeah.
Well, my
Are you like a
experience as
wrap
an
'em in bubble wrap kind of parent you think you would be? Or you'd be like, break a bone, have fun?
well, it's kind of hard because you will want to be the perfect parent, but when the situation shows up, if you're tired, whatever, then you may be less or more prone to participate on whatever they need. But being an aunt and spending so much time with my niece and nephew, so much time that I became the type of parent or the type of aunt who will be more of the educational type of person. So
Okay.
let's talk about this. So then let's explore these that way and then let them figure it out the active
Okay.
basically the do you see I almost switched to Spanish?
The
Um that's so funny.
same word.
So they will teach them the technical and then they will do the practical kind of thing. That was kind of the anti was. And more like, I understand you need to learn to care for yourself because
Okay.
otherwise if I tell you how to do everything, you're never going to explore it and say, I understand why this happens or doesn't happen.
Okay. So we're gonna get more back into the wild child, let the kid have fun, or wrap them in bubble wrap and not let them go anywhere. So I think those are two different parenting styles, and I think they change sometime. First kid, maybe you're a little more protective, or you're a little more loose, depending on how things go. You switch it up. Well, that happens within animal species also, because the last clip we just saw, kids couldn't even cross the street without basically holding mom's hand. She was like, "No, no, we're going down the sidewalk. You gotta wait." Well, when it comes to wild boars, sometimes mom takes the other perspective and she's like, you know what? You go out and have a blast. Fly down a waterfall. Fly into a pond.
Oh my god. Is she pushing that?
They're
What
still
do you
coming.
say?
Look at that. She's got a pack of 8 of them that are just having fun.
I think that was probably also part of just moving. around, but that one looks more like that one looks more like a warhog.
Maria, you're ruining the story. I'm just trying to make a point. I have a narrative. Let me stick with it here. You already took me into educational when I wanted bubble wrap or crazy. No, you can't go there.
I was gonna dissect the video, and it's unnecessary.
He is a warthog, another animal. I was trying to stay in the pig-ish family to make my point. The babies are stripy. It felt like maybe this other one's a warthog too. They both got stripy babies and some
They
tusks.
do. Actually, most of the pigs, even though they may be different, their babies are usually very similar.
Okay, all right. Had Maria not said anything, you guys would have never noticed. And then
Sorry. Sorry, guys.
we all know that Maria enjoys doing video forensics. I should have assumed that you were going to pick that out and I wasn't going to get away with it.
No, but I don't think it's a warhog.
I don't know. The animals look pretty close to me. Hey guys, comments below. The two clips, is that the same animal? Or are they different animals? Are you Team Ryan?
Same pig
Team
or
Maria?
different? Same or different?
We'll have some fun with it.
I don't know because I didn't see any tusks. So then as soon as I said that, I was like, yeah, I don't think so.
That's different males to females and stuff too, though. So we don't know.
Yeah, but warhogs have the flatter face.
We're gonna let the comments decide, Maria. Even if they're wrong, they're right. I mean, we're gonna whoever. I don't know when we're gonna end this poll. It'll go to eternity, so no one's ever gonna win. But whatever the comments say is what it is.
I love it. I love it.
So the parallels we're trying to draw, though, is it is interesting how animals, they are a lot like us. I mean, you could pick different aspects for different animals. Some are more caring, some are, I mean, whatever you want to grab and stuff. But as a parent, animal or not, there just gets to a certain point where you just need a break. You're like, okay, I don't want to be a parent today, or I don't want to be a parent this half hour. And if you don't have that troop that you're talking about, where you've got that community, or if the community's out doing something else, sometimes you can kind of just look on some parent's face, like in Walmart or going through the store, and you're like, yeah, she's right at about her wit's end. And you know what? It happens in the animal kingdom too. Sometimes you're just kind of done with it. You're like, no climbing the tree. No, I said no climbing the tree.
Henry,
No,
stop it.
no more tree. Can somebody come over here and take care of their child? Or my
That's
child?
actually very adorable.
It is. It really is.
Oh, off he goes. Their monkeys are adorable.
Like, come on.
And the thing is, the primates, they evolve at like they are at a different time. Some take longer, some take shorter to really get a grasp of what they're doing. But it's just so adorable. And they're primates. Where was it that I was watching a video about? They have a caste system,
Okay.
and one of the higher castes stole a baby from a lower caste, and she couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
So she's like, so they were recording this whole thing, and they're like speculating about what she's gonna do because she cannot ask for help, unfortunately, because she was a lower caste.
Yeah.
But the other young primate wanted to have, and it looked like one of I can't think of the name. No, it's not a macaque, it's not a whatever, very similar. And so what she did throughout the video, they showed you what she tried to do. So what she played was the community card.
Okay.
So she kind of chased her up, and the young female was like, no, I want to have this baby. And you can clearly tell that she had no clue how to hold it. So it was like holding it with one leg as it was climbing through, because it was part of a city situation where they were. So what she did is she played the community card. One thing that primates love to do is to groom.
Yes.
That's one thing that they love. So what she did, she's like, I'm going to groom you. So she started grooming her. The young female relaxed. She was able to grab her baby, kept grooming the female, and that was it. There was no fight.
Mm-hmm.
It was so beautiful.
Yes. So basically, what you're telling us is that a monkey kidnapped another monkey, and the ransom payment was a massage. That's basically what I'm
And
hearing.
she couldn't ask for the authorities to help her. It sounds like a movie. Like this is
It's okay. All right, write that script. That's, you know.
it's already written like a gazillion times. I can almost imagine Liam Nielsen trying to look for when they kidnap his daughter, and this is the whole
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, Taken or Taken 2 or Taken 3 or I don't know what number they're up to now. There's a
Or
lot of
taken
Taken.
for a spin, but in
I
this
know.
case,
He's really a crappy parent. I mean, how many times your kid's gonna get taken, man? Jeez. Let's keep a better eye on him. Put a GPS on him or something.
but yeah, it was very fascinating to watch, and I think they were Macaque who were doing this, and it was
I
cool.
believe I believe a macaw is a bird, Maria. You might be thinking of macaques. That would be a monkey. Where a macaw would be like a parrot type animal. That would be that.
You are right. Is that Macaque?
See, last episode I couldn't come up with jellyfish, but I got macaque. Yes.
Round of applause. Round of applause.
Oh, no. We're not going to get tired cheesy. No, we're not doing that. I think one of the interesting things too is sometimes the animals that we kind of look at as maybe not the prettiest of animals. There's I hate to think this way, but there's pretty animals and there's kind of not pretty animals.
Yeah, attractive, not attractive, plain,
Yeah,
colorful.
okay. But some like animals you're just kind of like like some people think of rats that way and snakes or whatever it might be, but sometimes the ugliest animals are also the best parents. I don't know where
Okay.
that connection is or why, but and we have yet to solve our possum versus opossum debates because I have not gone to go look at the
I did.
comments on the previous video at the possum versus opossum, but this is a possum opossum parenting.
Look how cute she is.
Clearly, you don't want to be in either of those yards. I don't know if there's like dogs or such, or this is just the easiest passage. But that's putting in some parenting work right there.
I tell you, those marsupials are incredible.
Mm-hmm. And when I saw this the first time of this possum opossum walking on the wooden fence with, what is that, like 7 babies on her back?
7, I was counting them. Yep.
Okay. I thought that was pretty impressive. But then I kept looking, and unfortunately, this is not a very talented possum opossum. This
Opossum.
this is a talented possum opossum. Because now we're introducing electricity into the mixture and wires, and man, they are yeet whoop.
I'm gonna have a heart attack here.
We got Maria a little bit.
Now, the beautiful thing is there are 2 different breeds, species of marsupials of the opossum family. So this could be the European or the southern. Like I don't know, like the possum that you show at first, that's the American opossum.
Yeah,
There's also like the Virginia possum, and
yeah,
I was trying to do a little bit of research, but I don't want to take away if it's possum or opossum
doesn't
because I
make
want you guys to.
the parenting feat anymore. Imagine if you had 7 kids and you said, "Pile on my back while I walk you across this waiting river" or something. That's not happening.
No. And the cool thing is the South American possums, they're smaller. To me,
Okay.
they're so adorable.
Okay.
I find beautiful the North American that are very white and really large. They're just so beautiful, and they're so important for the ecosystem.
Every animal is, though. That's the thing. Ugly, pretty, your perception of them, not. It's a web. It's tied together, and you take out an element, and the system doesn't work anymore.
The chain breaks. Mhm.
You've got a car, and you take out a part of it, it's not going to work or not work as well. I mean, it's all tied together, whether we want to see it or not.
But information there. If you really want to reduce the tick population anywhere, like people who have cattle or people who just want to reduce the the plagues that kind of roam around and can give you diseases. Possums are your friends. Like they literally will attract, and they love to devour ticks to the point that even deer ask for assistance from the possums to help them clean them of ticks. That's
Yeah.
how amazing they are.
I mean, you get the same thing with like aphids in your yard, and there's so many animals that people think are ugly or invasive, and they serve a purpose, and a lot of times they serve a much larger purpose than you realize. Because, for example, if you took the bees off of the face of the earth would not last very long. They do
Nope.
a lot of the pollinating. They do a lot of the stuff that they're the bottom of the chain that starts to go. If they're not pollinating flowers that aren't eaten by something, and then it works all the way up. Like bees are probably like it's funny because it's the small animals. Mosquitoes are the biggest killers on the planet, and bees are probably one of the most important species on the entire planet. But they're just a
But there's
little.
so many varieties of
Mm-hmm.
bees. People only think of the um, mulliferous, which are the ones that produce honey, but there are so many species of bees that are so impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Um,
And mosquitoes. I have something about mosquitoes.
do
The
you? I
female
have something
mosquitoes.
too. It's right here, and it's really annoying, and I can't stop scratching it. But go ahead. Go ahead. Say something nice about them while I look for the one in my room.
So female mosquitoes are the only ones who bite you. They need to. So talking of parenting is actually pretty relevant because they are the ones who need to nourish their eggs so that they can reproduce. The males, on the other hand, are incredible pollinators. So if you ever wonder why mosquitoes are so valuable, is because of the pollinators,
Mhm.
and they help pollinate flowers, and so they're also very important.
I'm sorry, and I have to do this, but you're wrong. I'm sorry. You're 100% wrong. It's
About what?
because mosquitoes they don't bite you. They actually pierce you with their proboscis. It's not like they don't have teeth. They just
You're
needle,
right. You're right.
point and suck. So they do not bite you. And then your whole argument after that fell apart just because your one main lead in. Okay, everything else was right, but the biting.
I'm gonna serve myself some tea after that one.
Okay, okay. It's a little bit like the poison versus venom debate. I forget the differentiation. People mix
Yes,
up poison and venom, and I
venom is
forget.
injected.
Okay, that's
So
what it
like
is.
a snake is poisonous, and the venom, um, no, snakes are venomous.
Okay.
Now I'm confused. But yes, snakes are
Maria, while you're dealing with your confusion, this
poisonous dart frogs, and venomous snakes. That's
and
what
the
it is.
skin is what's poisonous on the dart frogs. So yeah, you're right. One is actually a bite injection. Um,
Yes.
and to help you mull this over and make sure that you really cemented that idea in your head, every once in a while I just throw
Like
in
a
a
boa constrictor, mull it over.
yeah, I throw in a fun for Maria video, and
You
this
mean the
one
possum wasn't enough to torture me? That
no
was
no, and then this one is it is parenting. You have those days, like I said, where you've had enough, and then you
okay.
have those days where you're not in the best mood and you're kind of down, but the kids are up and they have high energy and they actually kind of bring you up with them. You're like, you
Okay.
know what? My kids are amazing. Look at them. They can look at the world and they're not worried about taxes and they're not worried about this or that or the other. They're just enjoying the world and their environment and just the being around that energy kind of picks you up. And the
Like a
same thing
butterfly.
happens in the animal world.
Okay.
Sometimes you need your little one. You
Can
need
you
your
be
little
any more
one to kind of get you.
adorable?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. Fine, we can play. Maria is
She's
making
adorable. Look
big
what she plays with her baby. I'm gonna sit on it. How much you want to
yes.
bet?
Yes. Oh, she's gonna lay down right. Okay, that was nice. That was she's gonna.
Oh, she's playing with it.
Yeah.
Oh,
hmm Big jaguar and baby black jaguar hanging out and playing.
ah, that makes me so happy. Like
I
to
knew it
me, yeah, you're right. I think everybody knows what my animals are. But I was learning yesterday about a
Really?
cat called the Joffrey cat.
Okay.
And the Joffrey cat is actually from the family of the leopards. And it's a tiny South American cat, like the
Okay.
size of a regular cat. And I was
Okay.
just so shocked because I thought it would be Pantera, but no, it was leopard something. So
Okay.
Leopardo Joffrey. And it's just a tiny cat. It's actually smaller than the little Pantera Onca there. And it just, so I had to say something
Okay.
about
Well,
South American amazing cats. The Joffrey cat.
there are a lot of them. There are a lot of wild, like house cat size animals too. That are pretty cool. Uh,
Amazing. Amazing.
I think one of the other things too that's important. So you got to take the kids out and get them out and get them exercising. Go for a walk. Maybe let them or not let them cross the street. You have days where you just kind of you're not into it. You got the monkey. You're holding it by the tail, and you're just like, that's it. And then there's days where you're just kind of in full mom mode. Like, let's pile them all on the back. Let's get where we need to go. Let's pile them all in the minivan. Let's get everybody.
She's the minivan.
Basically, she's the yes. She is the minivan.
The epitome of a minivan.
What are possums? Opossums? Are they rodents? They're not marsupials.
They are marsupials.
They got pouches. They're marsupials. Okay.
Well, they don't have pouches per se, but they kind of grab and then they develop on top. It's not like when you think of a Tasmanian devil.
Okay.
They're also marsupials, and they're like several joeys that are born, and they have to fight. Like they literally fight
Yeah.
for survival from the moment they're born. That's how aggressive they are.
Most marsupials are like that though. They got to like get out of the pouch and then to the milk supply and then back into the pouch, and that journey doesn't always go well for. And then
because they're only 6, and you have 50 joeys. So what are you gonna do?
And then they're fighting amongst each other on top of that. So, But one of the other key parts of being a parent is making sure your kids are safe. And sometimes things happen, accidents happen, natural disasters happen, and you're the one that's got to come to the rescue in a way that you don't know what's around. You've got to use whatever your resources are. You got to look around and make sure your children are taken care of to the best of your ability. And this guy, I don't know where he found this piece of wood, but this chicken is the most ingenious animal I have ever seen in my life.
My gosh. That's a beautiful rooster, by the way.
That is a flood and a rooster and 2 chicks floating on some piece of someone's house or something.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah. That is
that's impressive.
Yes, in a very flooded area. Super impressive.
Yeah, major flood too. Major flood. Wow. I mean, survival is just incredible. And sometimes even if you are potential enemies, different species, like you were showing about the crocodile and birds and things like that, even though they're perceived as enemies, when there is a major need, all those things like get thrown onto the table. Like, okay, we're not gonna do that anymore until we can go back to normal.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a base movie trope, right? Like, we'll set our differences aside for the survival, and then after that, we'll be enemies again.
Taken 3.5.
Seriously, put an ankle monitor on that kid. What are we doing here, people?
I feel bad. I haven't seen the 3, 4, and 10th of it.
I'm just assuming if it's taken in the first 2, his kid gets kidnapped. I don't know, maybe his mom gets taken in the 3rd one, and like his aunt in the 4th. I don't know who keeps getting taken.
No, but I think in some of them it becomes the wife of someone else, or it's just something like that.
A private investigator at that point, where he's just like, "Oh, I know how to deal with people that are taken."
Yes, literally.
Okay.
They've taken into account when they hire him.
Oh, okay. All right. So and then he's taken their money to do the job.
Of course.
Okay.
For the people, and save them from those bad people, those who are taken.
Gotcha. Okay. Of the people, for the people, give me the $100 bill that says that on it somewhere. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. All right.
I think it takes a lot more of those 100 bills for the taken to be returned.
Gotcha. Okay. You guys have seen the series of movies, please fill us in on kind of what happens episode to episode. You're like, okay, daughter taken, random stranger taken, aunt taken. Just, nice little quick. I don't want to spend the time. I'd rather be looking for animal videos and having fun than go to IMDb and read the synopsis of the Taken movies.
I'd rather watch the Fast and Furious if we're gonna go with that.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I hope you guys were pleasantly taken by surprise and had fun with the episode. Dun, dun, shh. Guys, do us a favor. It really helps a lot to support the show if you subscribe, if you're catching us on YouTube. If you're catching us on an audio podcast or even Spotify video podcast, we'll hopefully be on there soon if we're not already. But please follow us, subscribe, and as always, leave us comments. We love to read your guys' perspectives and opinions on stuff.
And who's right about the
go catch
pig?
us at, what was that?
And who's right about the pig? Is it the same pig, different pig?
Oh yeah, no, that's already. So if you guys are a little bit new to the show, what happens is any question we come up with during the show, or any photos we reference and stuff that we just don't have on hand right away, we have a community posts and we have it everywhere. You guys go wherever you're comfy, wherever you like. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, even Patreon. We've got everything in the free section for that kind of stuff in Patreon. So you guys can go over there and chime in on the polls, the questions, see the photos we talked about. All that stuff's there. Interact, and like I said, we love the community is what we're trying to build. You guys talking to each other, sharing photos with us, information. We love to learn. We're not just here to kind of we're the ring masters probably more than anything, but we definitely want to be part of the community. So you guys get a chance, go over to those locales, and we will catch you guys later. Thank you so much.
Our monkeys, our circus.